In this third video of today's lesson, we are going to learn how to write some more of our katakana characters. The first one we'll talk about is mu. Don't let the fonts fool you. Mu is actually only 2 strokes. This first stroke starts at the top and then goes off to the right and stops. The second stroke is a short stroke that slants down to the right and stops. Let's try these 2 strokes together now. Stroke 1 goes down to the left, across to the right, and stroke 2 slants down to the right, mu. You can remember this by thinking about going to the doctor with a leg injury. She always asks, does it hurt to move your leg? Of course it does! That's why you're there! Our second character, Ra, looks like Fu with a line on top. The line on top is first, and then you draw the Hu stroke. All together now. Stroke 1 across the top. Stroke 2 is the Hu stroke, and we have Ra. Remember this one by thinking of a rocket ship going past the moon. Our next character is Ru. Ru is also 2 strokes. Are you getting the idea that katakana is simpler than hiragana? The first stroke is almost vertical, it tails to the left. And the second stroke is kind of like the Fu stroke, only flipped or turned or something. It goes straight down and then angles up to the right and tails. So let's try these 2 strokes really quick. Stroke 1 tails down slightly to the left. Stroke 2 goes straight down, up to the right to a tail. Ru. And to remember this one, sorry, I had my 2-year-old color it. The Ru may be hard to see, but it's created by the legs and tail of the kangaroo. Our next character today is Wa. It also is 2 strokes. The first stroke is a short vertical stroke that stops, and the second stroke is that Fu stroke again. And let's see how this looks with the Brush-O-Matic 3000. So stroke 1, stroke 2, and we have Wa. How can we remember this? Whoa! He lost his head! Sorry, I got a bit gruesome with the blood there. Our final character today is going to be is another character that must be drawn correctly or it will get confused with 2 other characters. The first stroke is an almost horizontal short stroke to the right. It stops. The second stroke must start below the first stroke and tail up to the right. Many people will start this stroke with a hook at the bottom. Practice this one well. Stroke 1, almost horizontal to the right. Stroke 2 starts at the bottom and tails up to the right. To remember this, think of covering cuts, scratches with a band-aid. So let's take a look at our katakana table. Here is the complete table, and as of right now, we know all of these characters in red. That's quite a few that we've learned already. But wait, there are still a few more. Remember the Dakuten and Handakuten table, and we know these characters in that table. This unit moves rapidly, so don't fall behind. Now I made some comments about some characters that looked alike. So let's take a look at some of these things. Nitiru kana. There are some katakana that look like their hiragana counterparts. For example, you probably noticed that ka and ka look a lot alike. And also ki and ki look quite a bit alike. There are also some katakana that you have to be careful when drawing because they will look like other characters if they're drawn incorrectly. Remember, wa, hu, and ra all used the same stroke. Also, there's tsu, n, that looks similar. Tsu has two small strokes where n only has one, but there are other strokes that will look like these two later on. In fact, we'll get even more characters to add to this list of confusing katakana, so be careful. Nitteru-ji. Because katakana was actually created by using parts of kanji, and in some cases the entire kanji, some katakana will look like actual kanji. Notice that ha looks a lot like the kanji hachi, meaning 8. This is a simple example of why stroke length is important. Remember, we have also discussed the importance of stroke order and direction.